Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you everyone for joining the session this afternoon. As we are all aware, COVID-19 is causing disruption to everyone, including educational institutions throughout the world, and UTM is no exception. So we have been trying to do our best to address the situation. So moving forward, UTM actually following the advice given by the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Higher Education on changing the way we conduct our operation to manage the risk of the pandemic. That is the reason why since the 1st April 2020, UTM have started conducting online classes so that students can still continue their learning. Because we can't wait this pandemic to stop. We have to start think back. We have to start our move to make sure that the learning process happen. So at the same time, we as a postgraduate student society have to do some things. We have to change our working mechanism too. So because despite the issues research for master and PhD, we still have to carry on with our learning and research process. So PGSS has this responsibility to help the students, our PhD and master students. So for that, SPS has planned to start offering online courses for postgraduate structured course. But easy to be said, in order to do this, we need a proper plan and execution. So for that, we have to think about a proper work process that can be followed by all of us, and hopefully this can make us continue the training, the course, in order to help all the researcher, our PhD and master students continuing your studies and hopefully graduate on time. So we have separated into three process before the structured course, during the structured course, and after the structured course. So every postgraduate society have identified their own list of topics. So for the startup, we are requesting that every PGSS to identify topic from the existing online and the existing listed to become the online courses that can be offered. And you have to ask the speaker who willing. Usually, some of the speakers might not feel comfortable to put the training online. However, as we have started since 1st of April conducting online classes with our own students, I believe more than 80% of the lecturer in UTM have already experienced online classes. Due to that, it's actually much more easier for you to gain trust of the instructor to start delivering the training online. However, you have to decide the date because they have classes, and as well as ask the speaker to fill in the media license and release forms. Alright, so as we are not going to face them, we are not going to meet the person, the speakers face to face. So digital sign is accepted. Or then you have to, since that we only have one Cisco WebEx ID for SPS, so you have to book the date and check and book the date with the Miss Asfa, with Kak Asfa, for the Cisco WebEx meeting arrangement. So Abang Azizi will help you with the setting up of the scheduling. Alright, so since that we are going to conduct the training online, there will some budget will not be needed. So the only cost that is needed is actually the 150 ringgit that we have to pay speaker. So PGSS have to apply through UTM ACAD and notify SPS. Right, then SPS will issue the approval and appointment letter via email. So during movement control order, MCO, just through emails, but after the MCO, we'll send the original scan copy. But the offer letter actually will be signed by me, so I will be using my digital sign as well. Right, then you will get the WebEx online course link from Asfa, right, from Miss Asfa. You have to use the link for the promotion. So you, PGSS, have to promote the online course through whatever media that can be used, social media, email, WhatsApp, Telegram, and etc. Please make sure that you include the WebEx link, right? The pre-registration link and instruction to install Cisco WebEx meeting apps. I will provide you with the materials after this. Now, the WebEx link have to be informed to the speaker so that they know what is the time they have to enter. And then PGSS have to prepare the registration link via Google Form for attendance during the session. Alright, next step. During this session, which means you have confirmed the date and the time of the training, please make sure that you will be 30 minutes earlier, the person in charge, before the online course started. So because you have to check on the WebEx link whether it's actually working, as well as to make sure that usually the speaker will come in earlier than the participant, and sometimes even the participant join in earlier, especially if the course is actually very well known and had a very highly request, so the participant might be overwhelmed. So ensure all online participants fill in the registration Google form within 30 minutes to confirm the attendance. So the registration link have to be closed 30 minutes after the course start to make sure that we're just going to collect the registration for the early entrance. Since that the training will just last around 2 to 3 hours maximum. I think 2 hours will be suitable. Right. So moderator. So you have to find a moderator among yourself. You have to open the online courses with introduction of the speaker. Suggested that you get their CVs, their biodata of the speakers, and introduce the speakers to the participants. And then hand over the session to the speaker. Speakers can share their slides or their materials using WebEx, because WebEx allows all participants to share their document. So they can start the online courses and share their slide or whatever they have on their hand. And during the session, the moderator have to check on the question in the chat room, because you have to make sure that whenever the speaker start, switch off, mute every single participant in the session. So to do that, moderator if they have any questions, suggested that they enter the question in the chat room. Even the attendants have to be added in the chat room as well. So collect the question. So then at the end of the session, raise out the question to the moderator. Moderator have to raise the question to the speakers so that the speakers can answer the list of questions from the participants. Until end of the session, then you have to close the session, greet and thank the speakers, and make sure that all the participants have left the meeting room before you exit the session. Alright. After the session, so you have to email the feedback form to all the participants. The feedback form can be done using Google Forms, right? To get the feedback, fill in the participant details. You can also put the link directly at the end of the session through the WhatsApp, to the chat room. Alright, so fill in the participant details in the UTM Arcade. As usual, you have to register by batch for merit, and you follow the template given in the UTM Arcade. Prepare the report as usual. Include the report as usual. Include the screenshot photos of the online course. Compared to the face-to-face session, we might have a real life photos, but this more on the screenshot of the session, whatever ways that you can find. It will be great if you can open all the participant views instead of just the slide of the speakers. Alright, submit the complete report together with the media license to SPS after the. Alright, this report can be submitted soft copy, alright, using email. Okay, the email, and then after the MCO, you can submit the hard copy. Alright, the recording will be the video conferencing the training will be recorded by SPS. Then Abang Zizi or Kak Aspa will provide you with the link of the Webex video recording that you can download and edit it. Alright, so we have trained PGSS team how to edit the video by using the Filmora Wondershare software, right? However, please make sure that you split the recording into small video editing. Okay, it have to be very short, or else it will be 2 hours straight video recording, not suitable for training. Split into part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, something like that. Maybe about 10 to 15 minutes for each session. Or you can split using subtopic by the speaker. And submit the edited video file to SPS. And we will upload that to the PGSS YouTube channel. Discuss this with Kak. And then, as usual, I have informed you that the speaker should be able to apply for IP, and the person in charge as the moderator can also get this. So discuss with PGSS team who will be responsible for this. But this is actually not compulsory, but highly encouraged. So the process can only be handled by academics or by the staff in UTM. So you have to deal this with me or your postgraduate advisor, as well as with the speaker. Alright, so now as the Secretariat, PGSS will become the Secretariats. So additional info that you have to know is the online courses can be offered to all students. So not necessarily now restricted to JB and KL, because the access is actually global. But the person who are going to in charge need an internet access, right? So internet access is required. So participant who join in is actually not compulsory, but they just have to make sure they install Cisco Webex meeting app in their handphone or laptop. They can join in the session using laptop or handphone. But for the moderator who going to handle the speaker, highly encouraged that you use the laptop. Alright, so this is what I said earlier. The course can be conducted around 1.5 hours to 2 hours plus. Not encouraged to be more than that, because online training is actually quite tiring, especially for the speakers. And as everybody know, the speakers honorarium is 150 ringgit. Right, so application for the program via UTM Arcade as usual. Remember that you have to notify SPS after you apply. We are going to arrange the Webex meeting. So just WhatsApp Miss Asfa. You have her number. Because since that we just have one ID, the training should be handled not simultaneously. So you have to check the schedule and book the slot. So maybe you have one in the morning session and another one in the afternoon session if you pick the same date. Alright. You have to prepare 2 types of Google Form registration link. One for pre-registration, because you would like to know whether there's actually takers or participants interested to join the session. And then another one for the actual registration, because there might be someone who will be joining the session through walk-in. Alright, but as we informed earlier, it has to be filled within 30 minutes after the online course starts. Alright, any topic from PGSC that has not been conducted before can be chosen as online course, except for hands-on course. The hands-on course is quite difficult to be converted into online training. So please pick the one that is actually more on the theoretical or concept course. Right. This strategy of online course will not just stop after the MCO lifted. So we can still continue this training online. So if you have the means that it's not necessarily just one training course, you can continue with all the other topics of that have been identified previously, and just book the date with the SPS through the online session. Alright. I said earlier, then you must be a moderator. So you have to appoint, the program director have to appoint one moderator during the online course to facilitate introduction of speakers, Q&A session, as well as the closing of the online course. If you have any problem in terms of the technical problem, you have to contact Mr. Azizi, our IT experts. Okay, before the video editing process, you can plan the contents of the video and separate it into several subtopics. As I said earlier, it have to be maximum 20 minutes for each sub video. So you have to split that into a several subtopic. It is not necessary to include all topics covered in the online course. Alright, if you think that the course is actually being touched by the speaker very shallow or actually not quite important, you can just leave it out. So identify the proper things for the subtopic. Alright, so if you need the ID for the Filmora Wondershare, contact SPS or contact ASFA for it, and actually the manual have been emailed to everyone. Alright, this is the session for today. So now I'm ending my presentation. So I will open for everyone for the question and answer session. Thank you very much.